image before was supposedly very contrived.
Exactly.
Not the real you.
Now that the party is jumping.
It was not the real me, and, you know, I trying to live it out, but it was so huge that a lot of people can't get that image out of their head. You're listening to a bunch of people who, you know, have all this money, and they're paying you millions and millions and millions, and they hired a whole team for me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, hell no, I'm not doing all that. That's I'm not doing that, you know? And they're like, here's $1 million, we do it? And I'm like, hell yes.
But, you know, you paved the way. Some would say there would be no M&M without Vanilla Ice.
Well, here's the deal. There was nobody before me, so I didn't say, oh, I can use his career as a guideline. And all those guys can. They know what to do and what not to do.
Right. Pull it up! Now, we've all heard the rumors about Ice and the run-in with Suge Knight, the rap mogul. Suge supposedly went to Vanilla Ice's room, hung him over the balcony, and demanded the rights to the song Ice Ice Baby, which, as we all know, would be a fortune. Ice says the balcony scene was a little exaggerated, but somehow Suge did manage to shake him down for some dough. Or at least that's how the story goes.
He probably took, you know, I don't know, 3, 4 million, whatever. But I look at it in a positive way because, you know, it's not about money, and I ended up with way more anyway than I ever expected out of this whole thing. So he started Death Row Records with that money. You know, after that came Tupac, Dre, and Snoop Dogg. You know, I funded all this stuff. In an indirect way, I contributed to some of the best hip-hop ever out there, you know?
That's a nice way of making lemons to lemonade.
Hey, I've had lots of thousands of dollars worth of therapy to convince me of that.
Why didn't you go to the cops?
Because I'm not going to put a target on my forehead.
And another thing about Ice, somewhere between Sean Penn and Guy Ritchie, he and Madonna were quite the hot item. Were you guys in love?
I wouldn't say love. We were infatuated, maybe.
Yeah. Did you guys smoke weed and stuff?
No, I did. I don't think she did. You know?
Was the sex crazy? Was it like the Spice Channel or something?
It was good, but like I said, you know, it wasn't any better than a lot of other things I've had. So there's no sparks flying out of her just because she's Madonna, you know.
We all know that Ice's time in the spotlight faded pretty quickly. The good news was he still had money in the bank. Despite that, he couldn't find happiness. Did you come close to suicide back in the mid-90s?
I did.
Did you attempt?
I did. Wrote a long suicide note and everything. I couldn't find happiness, you know, over 20 million bucks in the bank and you can't find happiness. I just hit a depression that was so low that I didn't have an escape for it. I thought it was going to be that way for the rest of my life and I was just going to have to live that way and I didn't want to live that way and I wanted out, you know.
So what did you do?
I took enough drugs to kill an army, to be honest with you. And
pills?
Pills and heroin, yep.
How did you do the heroin? Did you just sniff
shot it up. And so, you know, it was, I guess I can say it with a smile on my face today because I'm a survivor from it. And, you know, what don't kill you makes you stronger. I mean,
yeah, man.
And, you know, I look at my daughters and stuff and you know, it was tough. It was tough, you know. I don't really like talking about it. But I'm beyond it. I'm beyond it, you know.
Whew, that was deep, right? But don't worry. He's doing much better. He's happy, he's still rich, and he's got his show on the WB. It's called This is Real Life. It's in its 2nd season, and they take a bunch of celebrities. You know this show, right? They throw them in a house for a few weeks, and therein lies the plot.
I was in a house with the celebrities for like 12 days.
Who else was there?
Ron Jeremy was there. You know, he's got the long dong thing going. Tammy Faye, she's like, you know, like my mom or something. Tracy Bingham, Baywatch.
Love her.
Trishelle, the girl who screwed all the guys on The Real World. Eric Estrada was on there.
No, you're lying.
No, he was super cool.
So Gary Coleman was on To Real Life?
Gary Coleman was on there, yeah. He came on for a day, and we ran Mel's Diner. I guess they put him like the manager for the day. And I was the cook. I pick him up. I'm running through there. I'm gonna make some fish head Gary Coleman soup. Fish head Coleman soup. Anybody want some? And he was telling me to get to work and everything, and I'm like, what are you gonna do, fire me? You're fired. All right, I'm fired. You know, the whole place was packed, and I'm like, don't you guys want to hear it and say it one time, you know? What you talking about, witness? And he wouldn't do it. Everybody here remembers that show.
If I do that, I have no credibility.
And he walks out, he leaves. He has no sense of humor whatsoever.
Well, Rob, Ice, Vanilla, whatever, he had some pretty interesting things to say. Go, white boy.
Don't go anywhere, because Wendy's not done yet. Hanging with...
Finale of The Surreal Life. Tonight's presentation of The Surreal Life